On some American roulette tables, a chip placed between 2 dozen boxes can cover neither dozen. It represents a bet at the opposite end of the layout. We'll return to that shortly. Hello, I'm Vitalii Klymenko, Editor-in-Chief at Roulette77. Roulette can look complicated when you first see the table. There are numbers, colours, lines, corners, and several areas with unfamiliar names. But the basic process is simple. You choose which outcomes to cover, place your chips, wait for the result, and receive a payout if your bet wins. This episode is not about systems or promises of profit. Roulette is a game of chance with a built-in house advantage. Our purpose is to understand how the game works and what each decision at the table actually means. Let's begin with the wheel and the betting layout. A standard European wheel contains the numbers from 1 to 36 plus a single zero. That gives it 37 pockets. A standard American wheel adds double zero, bringing the total to 38. French roulette usually has the same single zero wheel as European roulette, although it may apply additional rules. We will examine those differences in later episodes. For now, remember that additional zero pockets affect the mathematics of the game. The numbers from 1 to 36 are red or black. 0 and double zero are green. The numbers around the wheel are not arranged in the same order as the numbers on the table. That is because the wheel and the layout have different functions. The wheel produces the result. The layout allows you to choose which results your bet will cover. On the layout, the numbers from 1 to 36 appear in 3 columns. The zero area is positioned at one end. Around the number grid, there are larger boxes for red and black, odd and even, low and high numbers, dozens and columns. To place a bet, you select a chip value and put the chip on the appropriate position. In a land-based casino, you normally buy roulette chips from the dealer. In an online game, you select a denomination on the screen. The betting window remains open for a limited time. When it closes, the dealer announces, "No more bets," or the interface stops accepting new chips. The ball settles in one numbered pocket. The table then removes losing bets, pays winning ones, and opens the next round. In live roulette, the result comes from a physical wheel. In RNG roulette, software generates it. The format is different, but the basic betting process remains similar. You are not competing with the other players. Everyone sees the same winning number, but each person may have covered different outcomes. Roulette bets are normally divided into 2 categories: inside bets and outside bets. Inside bets are placed within the main number grid or on its lines and corners. A straight-up bet covers one number and pays 35 to 1. A split covers 2 adjacent numbers and pays 17 to 1. A street covers a horizontal row of 3 numbers and pays 11 to 1. A corner covers 4 numbers that meet at the same point and pays 8 to 1. A 6 line covers 2 neighbouring rows for a total of 6 numbers and pays 5 to 1. The basic relationship is straightforward. The fewer numbers a bet covers, the less frequently it can be expected to win, but the higher its payout becomes. A higher payout does not make a bet better. It compensates for a lower probability of winning. American roulette also has an unusual 5-number bet, covering 0, double zero, 1, 2, and 3. Depending on the casino, it may be called the basket bet, the top line bet, or the 5-number bet. It pays 6 to 1. The bet wins on 5 of the 38 possible results, which is approximately 13.16%. However, its payout creates a house edge of 7.89%. Most other standard bets on an American wheel have a house edge of 5.26%. This means the basket bet is less favourable than the other standard bets on the same wheel. Its 5-number coverage may look attractive, but the payout does not fully compensate for its probability. It is not a hidden rule, but it is easy to overlook if you judge the bet only by the amount of the table it covers. Now, let's return to the unusual line from the beginning of the episode. On some American layouts, the border between the second dozen and the third dozen is called the courtesy line. A chip placed there covers 0 and 00, not either of the dozens beside it. It is an alternative position for a 2-number split and pays 17-1. Its mathematics are not unusual, only its position is. The courtesy line demonstrates why you should never assume what a bet covers simply from its location. Read the layout and check the table rules. Outside bets cover larger groups of numbers. These include red or black, odd or even, and low or high, meaning 1 to 18 or 19 to 36. These bets normally pay 1-1. You can also bet on one of 3 dozens or one of 3 columns. Each covers 12 numbers and pays 2-1. Outside bets win more frequently than a straight up or split, but they offer smaller payouts. They are not safe or guaranteed bets. Red and black each cover 18 numbers, but 0 belongs to neither colour. On an American wheel, 00 also belongs to neither colour. That is why a red or black bet is not a true 50-50 proposition under standard roulette rules. Let's put these ideas into one example. Imagine placing $1 straight up on 17 and another dollar on black. Your total stake is $2. The ball lands on 17, which is black. The straight-up bet pays $35 in profit. Your original $1 chip is also returned, so $36 come back from that bet. The black bet pays 1-1. It returns $1 in profit, plus the original $1 stake. Together, $38 return to your balance. Since you originally placed $2, your net profit from the round is $36. If the ball lands on a different black number, the straight-up bet loses, but the black bet wins. $2 return to your balance, leaving you level for that round. If the result is red, 0, or 00, both bets lose. This example shows the difference between payout, total return, and profit. The total return includes the original winning stake. Profit is what remains after the initial stakes are deducted. Before placing a first bet, check 4 practical details. First, check the roulette version. Single 0 and 00 tables may look similar, but they do not have the same house edge. Second, check the table limits. Every table has minimum and maximum stakes. Make sure you understand whether the displayed minimum applies to the full round or to an individual betting position. Third, consider the pace. RNG roulette normally gives you more control over when the next spin begins. Live roulette uses a betting timer. If you are unfamiliar with the layout, watching a few rounds first can make the process easier to follow. Finally, decide your limits before the session begins. If you choose to play, use only money you can afford to treat as entertainment spending. Decide how much time and money the session may use while you are still making calm decisions. There are 3 common misunderstandings worth remembering. A large payout does not mean a high probability of winning. An outside bet may win more frequently, but that does not make it risk-free. And previous results do not predict the next independent spin. A sequence of red outcomes does not make black due to appear. You do not need a complicated system to understand roulette. The wheel determines the result. The layout determines which outcomes your chips cover. Fewer covered numbers generally produce a larger payout. More covered numbers generally produce a smaller one. Know what your bet covers, check what it pays, and decide your limits before the wheel starts moving. In the next episode, my colleague Chris Mwangi will explain the differences between European and American roulette. and why one extra pocket matters more than it may seem.